Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Or thank you, Mr. Bowie. Mr. Morgan.
Yeah, I think I'm going to differ a little bit from the rest of the panel here. Slots. You have already spoken. You wanted them. You voted it in. But we live in a state, I'm going to go back to leadership again. We live in a state that screwed up gambling. Think about that. How do you screw up gambling? They took their eye off the ball. Gambling was supposed to fund the school systems. We keep wanting to spend money at the schools. How do we fund the school system? Anybody? I mean, are we supposed to just keep using Chinese money from the stimulus package? Because we needed $4.6 billion of it to balance the budget the last 2 years. Are we supposed to raise taxes again like we did in 2007 when we had a structural budget deficit of $1.3 billion? $1.3 billion of taxes were enacted in that special session. $1.3 billion worth of taxes never end up with $1.3 billion worth of revenue. Gambling, I think, is an adult activity. I think we took our eye off the ball. We would have been better off having a set number of gambling district to draw income from neighboring states. That's what it was supposed to do, draw income from neighboring states. The gambling package that we passed right now, I mean, is anybody planning on going to slot machines out in Cecil County or over Ocean City? It's just another tax to draw income from the citizens that are already here, and it doesn't meet the goals that we originally designed gambling for and what I think you all voted for.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Mr. Phillip. Thank you, Mr. Richards. Delegate Wood.
Are we talking about slots or are we talking about table gambling? Or are you talking about both? Okay.
We're gambling expansion in Maryland.
Well, I was around when slots were in Southern Maryland many, many years ago, and they went out of here in '68. They went out for a good reason. Now they're trying to bring them back in. I've always been a supporter of slots as long as they're regulated. When we lost them back in the 60s. We have Keno, we have Lotto now. Been very, very successful in the state of Maryland. It nets, bottom line, about over $500 million a year. And where does it go? Into the general fund. To fund programs, whether it's education, whether it's transportation, whether it's for disabilities, or for whatever it is, but that's where it goes. Now, I will agree, 8 years ago, the General Assembly screwed up the slots bill. No question. But it was a bad bill when it came in, but the General Assembly didn't want to take the time to work with it. I was one of the few in Southern Maryland that supported it then, and I still support it. And if we don't do something, we need a new source of revenue. And if we don't get it, we're going to look at taxes. And I don't want to see taxes. And I get irritated. And a lot of you in this room, you go to West Virginia, you go to Delaware. I don't see many poor people up there. I see people up there having a good time.
Thank you, Delegate Wood.